Welcome back to the channel. Got some bad news. Frustrating news. But we're going to make it better by installing new car parts and suppressing our feelings. Alright, so as you can see, the car is back on the ground. I, in fact, actually just came back from a drive in the Mustang, and I had gotten the header back on the car. I replaced the gasket. As you saw in the previous video, you saw that, hey, I had a leak, but the frustrating part about this leak is it came right back. So yeah, so I think it's I don't think it's the exhaust piping or the V all the way up to the V-band clamp. I really think it's these headers, and they're just warped. You know, I think I've gotten my use out of them, and these headers just got to come off and they got to go. I did call Petronix, which is the parent company of Doug's headers, which is the headers I have on the car. And I talked to the tech line. Of course, there's no way I'm going to get a warranty, an exchange, or things like that. So I'm not really worried about that. But I did talk to them, and I tried asking, hey, can I machine that surface? Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? Can I do that? Just trying to spitball some ideas, right? They said it probably wouldn't hurt if you welded on there, flattened it out, but then at the same time, that would introduce a lot of heat, and I don't want to do that if it's going to make any type of warping worse. So one thing I tried to do to remedy this was we used some copper gasket RTV. Yeah, that didn't do too good. It just apparently, you know, I can hear it. If that's what it is, it blew right through it. I am using a Ford OEM gasket. That's not it. I previously had a Cometic gasket. That wasn't it. As the fix, right? And then I also even got a grinder out. I split them so that the tubes had the ability for when they did get torqued down, that they could flex and that they could get their best seal without being held, or the warp wouldn't dictate, you know, the position of that tube when after it's kind of like torqued down onto the motor, giving it its best chance for sealing in. That still obviously isn't the case because we have an exhaust leak that's still just loud and proud. So I'm a little frustrated. As you guys can tell. But what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and unbox our new steering wheel, and we'll go ahead and install it on the car. That way we can on a positive in this video, right? Other than that, I would love to hear your guys' opinions on how should I fix the Mustang. Should I go get some OEM headers and, you know, modify them to fit the car, get another set of Doug's headers, or is there some other header out there that might work? Now, keep in mind, I have tried Ultimate headers. They would require some modifications in order to fit, because they don't clear my steering linkage and they don't clear my motor mounts. So that's the issue with Ultimate headers. So let me know if you guys have in mind of other headers. All right, so this is the new steering wheel for the 65 Mustang. Ba-da-bow. So I went with the steering wheel for a couple of reasons. One, let's actually go through here. So you can see that the grip on the wooden steering wheel, yes, it looks fantastic. But if I'm grabbing, look how tiny that grip is. It's not good, right? And if you get sweaty or anything like that, that becomes very slippery. Now, looking at this leather one, it's got a nice good grip to it. It's got a little bit more girth to it, to the grip, and that's one thing I'm looking for. Also, this is leather wrapped. That way it's gonna, I'll still be able to kind of get a better grip if things get a little sweaty. Or I got my racing gloves on. I think the racing gloves will actually grip to this wheel better than the wooden steer wheel. So next thing, let's go get some Allen keys so we can take that wheel off and put that wheel on. Now we just kind of take these guys off. Break them all loose. Get this last guy off. This ring comes off. Set that to the side. So then, obviously, the wheel can come off. Set that off to the side. As you notice, the wheel wasn't exactly straight, so we're going to address that. So first, we just need to remove this horn button. Alright, then we unplug. What the? Tonight is not my night. So we need to reattach the wiring for the horn so that we may have a horn. Damn it. Alright, so we got my big 15/16 socket. We just gotta break that guy loose. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, well, this is gonna require 2 hands to pull this off. Alright, so obviously I got it off. Not too much ever because I used a gear puller. So now I'm gonna take the wheel off by removing those 3 bolts I put in to help remove it, and we need to put the other horn wire back on. Alright, well, it's not going to hold the world up, but it's definitely holding that wire in place. So let's go back onto the car, see if we can't install the steering wheel straight. Alright, so the car is pointed forward, so we want to get, or do our best to get one of these bolts to the very top. Okay, maybe not there. No, maybe not. Yeah, that's probably... That's going to be as good as we can get it. Alright, so... Yeah. Take this nut. Tighten it down. Tighten it down right there. And, make sure that our little soldering job we just did doesn't interfere with the rotation of it. Alright, just had the car turned on, spun the wheel, and it's clicking whenever it hits the contact over there, so gotta pull it off, move it somehow so that we don't have that kind of contact or clicking, because that's only going to make the situation worse after we install it, and maybe over time it wears it down and it falls off. So go ahead and pull it off and see if we can't fix this. Alright, so got this bolted back on, wiring fixed. Let's plug this guy in. Wired this correctly is go ahead and touch the ground, see if the horn comes on. Perfect. So now we can just get this guy in. Let's make sure that it does in fact work though. Sure does. Then we take our wheel, pop it on, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw these 9 bolts in there. Now, I cannot say that don't look good. Oh yeah, so we got the horn button that's nice seated in. This is all bolted up. We got a good grip, you know. I'm gonna miss the wood steering wheel. We'll hang on to it, keep it for good luck. So, but yeah, this one's gonna give us that nice grip. I'm pretty excited about it. Oh yeah, it's all bolted in all nicely, nice and stable. Well, let this be evidence for that every install video that you see on YouTube goes perfectly according to plan. Um, but anyways, so one, we've got a lot of figuring out to do with the exhaust. Do we replace it with the same headers? Do we get some stock headers and modify them to fit, which they will be needing to modify to fit, but they'd be nice OEM stock headers? Do we get different headers so to fix this leak? Because it's obviously I've tried everything, every trick in the book to get these things sealed up, and they're not sealing. So I can only do so much, and it's just, yeah, at 2,000 RPM with the car under load, that exhaust pressure just sneaks on out, makes an awful noise. However, we try to make it all better by installing new car parts, but of course that couldn't go as planned, where a wire had to fall off while we were trying to take a wheel off. But we did fix it. We did finish that install. It does work good, and it looks pretty good. So I'm happy something went right this evening, but yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out that exhaust situation. If we get new headers, that means we're gonna have to fabricate the connection from that mid pipe to the header. So if it's shorty header, it's gonna come forward and up. If it's a man, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I am definitely open to suggestions of what you guys might think for exhaust. I know Second Shift Racing is going to say put an aluminum exhaust on there. We might do that. Anyways, the next thing to do while we try to figure out the exhaust manifold debacle situation, I do plan on, which I could still do this, I do plan on getting the Dragy. I'm going to go take the car out, and we're going to do 60 to 0 testing, and we're going to tune the proportioning valve to be the perfect amount of front to rear bias for optimum braking. That way we can take advantage of these big old brakes in the front, and yeah, just try and stop as good as possible. So, all right, that's about it. Oh, and just for you guys, just so y'all know the numbers of how slow my car is, we're going to do a quarter-mile hit and a 6130 hit, just so you guys, you know, have the idea of what this car is capable of, or not capable of. So I appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and give me a like. Definitely comment your thoughts on the exhaust situation. Maybe you give me your estimated 60 to 130 times, or yeah, or words of encouragement. At this point, I'll take any of it. And if you're new here, go ahead and think about subscribing. I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for more to come.